is the news at noon. First, the highlights. Legacy government reopens Ogudu Ifako Bridge. Federal government urges Nigerians to continue to have faith in the country. And the Warrington, Indonesia school building collapse leaves 3 people dead, dozens others trapped. And in sports, Super Eagles coach defends fielding Ademola Lookman against South Africa, Rwanda in World Cup qualifiers. And now the details. I am Mike James. The Lagos State government has reopened the Ogudu Ifako Bridge, which has been closed for the past 73 days for rehabilitation. This was announced after an inspection of the project by the Commissioner for Transportation, Oluwaseun Oshiemi, Special Advisor to the Governor on Infrastructure, Olufemi Daramola, alongside the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Transportation, Olawale Musa. Commissioner for Transportation, Oluwaseun Oshiemi, commended the resilience and patience of motorists, road users, and residents of the state throughout the period.
We all know that we'll be the ones to enjoy it now. Thank you, Lagosians, for being ever compliant. Thank you, Lagosians, for ever supporting us. And thank you, our wonderful press, for always passing and communicating our messages to Lagosians. At this point, I want to say a big thank you once again to Mr. Governor for this wonderful work, and also to Lagosians for supporting us.
Earlier, the Special Advisor to the Governor on Infrastructure, Olufemi Daramola, noted that the road repairs has been delivered within 73 days of the earlier announced 101 days scheduled completion date. Daramola, who warned against misuse of road infrastructure and vandalism, urged Lagos residents to take ownership of all infrastructure as the Babajide Sanwo-Olu administration moves to other parts of the state.
If you recall, the process has been a planned process because there are 4 expansion joints at 4 different locations with about 300 meters span difference between each other. We've been opening gradually, we've been working despite the rains, but one of the things we want to mention is we want to say thank you to Lagosians for their patience. We want to say thank you for all the time and all the perseverance, and we want to tell them to take ownership.
It will be recalled that the first to the 4th phases covering the stretch of Ogudu Ifako Bridge inbound Alakbere commenced from Saturday 28th June to Saturday 16th August, while the 5th to 8th phases covering the stretch of Ogudu Ifako inbound or Shoki started on August and has been reopened. The Legacy government has announced the temporary closure of all private and commercial jetties and terminals along the 5 Cowries Creek to facilitate the hosting of the E1 Championship, the world's first all-electric powerboat racing tournament. In a statement by the Legacy Waterways Authority, LASWA, the closure will take effect from Friday, October 3 to Sunday, October 5. LASWA explained that the restriction is a safety and security measure designed to ensure seamless operations during the championship, safeguard lives, and showcase Lagos as a world-class destination for international sporting events. Operations at the affected jetties and terminals will resume on Monday, October 6. The agency urged waterway users to make use of alternative ferry routes and plan their travel arrangement in advance, while seeking for cooperation from passengers, operators, and stakeholders during the exercise. In its determination to help improve power supply in the Apapa local government area, the council has donated high-powered transformers to 5 communities. Chairman of the council, Idowu Sembanjo, and the initiative to provide transformers to communities is not just about lighting homes, but also about empowering families, creating opportunities for small and medium-scale businesses, and ensuring that communities make progress. Sembanjo said, while more communities will benefit from this initiative, the idea is a step forward in renewing hope for a better and more prosperous Apapa. She commended community leaders and residents for their patience and support, even in times when power supply was inadequate. The council chairman urged the communities to take ownership, protect the transformers against vandals, and ensure they are properly maintained. Sembanjo assured that her administration will continue to align with the Renewed Hope agenda by focusing on infrastructure, education, healthcare, and youth empowerment. The Community Development Committee CDC Chairman Adibi Nathaniel, who spoke on behalf of the community leaders, commended the chairman for her various developmental initiatives in Apapa. While requesting that more communities should benefit from this initiative, he called on the beneficiaries to safeguard the transformers and maintain them appropriately. Now to the rest of the stories. The federal government has urged Nigerians to have faith in their country. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris, who made the call, said gains of the last 2.5 years should be consolidated. Idris said the Bola Tinubu administration has demonstrated uncommon commitment to balanced and inclusive development since assuming office, stressing that the government is fully aware of the sacrifices the people had been making in the last 2 years. The minister pointed out that with the reforms in place, no state should be owing workers' salaries, stressing that any state that does is doing so by choice. He said beyond these, the federal government is actively going further to support various subnational infrastructure projects like the Light Rail project in Kano and Kaduna State, for which funding has been secured. Idris said the establishment of the Federal Ministry of Livestock Development is meant to harness underutilized potential and transform Nigeria's livestock sector into a sustainable and globally competitive industry. Minister of Works David Umahi has issued a 7-day ultimatum to Win Homes Global Services Limited to publicly provide evidence of his alleged $250 million diaspora investment, which was demolished in the Open Aja community in Lagos, and tender a formal apology, warning that failure to comply would prompt petitions to security agencies and international authorities. Umahi, who gave the ultimatum during an inspection of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project in company of some leaders of civil society organizations and members of the opposition party, said the claim that the federal government demolished a $250 million estate was false and deliberately misleading. The minister stressed that the developer must account for the source of the money she claimed was invested, insisting that evidence of the alleged remittances through the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) must be published alongside names of diaspora investors, proof of approved development plans and records of actual structures on the land, stating that only a gatehouse for which a sum of 19 million naira was paid as compensation was demolished. He had this to say.
250 million, remittance from diaspora. Show us the evidence, through CBN. How did it pass? If you brought the money, into the country, hard currency, don't worry, there will be no money laundering case against you since it has entered. But where is the money? Another one is who and who paid for this money. Can you publish those who paid and how much they paid? As a Nigerian, I'm very much interested because that is like.
Umahi also pointed out that documents submitted by Win Homes indicated the company acquired 12 hectares of land in 2022 for 50 million naira, which he described as suspicious and overly cheap given the location. He maintained that the government is determined to safeguard national interest and warned against attempts to mislead diaspora investors. And now to foreign news. Rescuers in Indonesia are racing to find 38 people believed to be trapped in the rubble of a school building that collapsed on Monday. Officials say that 3 students were killed and 101 others were taken to hospital, some of them with critical injuries, stating that the death toll may rise. Many of those who had trapped are teenage boys who had gathered for prayers when the building collapsed. Officials say that the 2-story building had an unstable foundation and could not support the weight of the additional construction for 2 more floors. The rescue agency said search and rescue operations are being carried out continuously to make the most of the golden time to save lives. And in sports news, Super Eagles coach Eric Chelle has defended his decision to field Atalanta forward Ademola Lookman in the recent World Cup qualifiers against South Africa and Rwanda, stressing that the winger's presence was vital to Nigeria's tactical approach despite limited club action due to off-field issues. Chelle, who gave Lookman two strong outings in Nigeria's high-stakes World Cup qualifying matches, is convinced that the winger is too important to be sidelined. The 27-year-old forward came close to leaving the Europa League winners in the last transfer window, with Inter Milan ready to pay just over 40 million euros for his services. Atalanta blocked the move, sparking Lookman's frustration and leading to his absence from pre-season training. Lookman's inclusion sparked heavy criticism from sections of fans and pundits who questioned the call-up of a player yet to log a single minute of competitive football at the time of the international window. That was our news at noon. But just before we go, maintain adequate distance from the vehicle ahead of you to avoid collision. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X, Traffic Radio 961, Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, Instagram, Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch our news and programs live on YouTube, Traffic Radio 961. Visit our website www.trafficradio961.ng. Listen to Lagos Traffic Radio on my Lagos app for timely updates. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration provided 87,000 units of single-dwell composite furniture for primary school pupils spread across the 6 education districts? Well, you can get more details on the Legacy Government website, and to end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. Lagos State Government has reopened the Ogudu-Ifako Bridge, which has been closed for the past 73 days for rehabilitation. Federal Government has urged Nigerians to have faith in their country. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, made a call saying gains of the last 2.5 years should be consolidated. We also told you that rescuers in Indonesia are racing to find 38 people believed to be trapped in the rubble of a school building that collapsed on Monday. And in sports, Super Eagles coach Eric Chelle has defended his decision to field Atalanta forward Ademola Lookman in the recent World Cup qualifiers against South Africa and Rwanda, stressing that the winger's presence was vital to Nigeria's tactical approach despite limited club action due to off-field issues. And for contacts with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That ends the news broadcast compiled by Kayode Mafalashiri. Thank you, Lagos, for listening. My name is Mike James. Good afternoon.